All right, guys. So here we are on Monday morning. The market opened about an hour ago, and I know I was talking about paying more attention to these two zones to be met again. However, we have made a really nice move up into this smaller, more local level. But you can see we have many instances of respecting this zone. And so, with that being said, I'm taking a little bit of a smaller position. It's not as big as I normally would take. Now my stop, we could maybe move it up a little bit above here. It's still a decent stop loss, and couldn't get it exactly as we retested the zone. Had to get a little bit lower, but all we're really looking for is a move back here to the downside. So um, anyway, just worth the risk to reward. I know obviously we were expecting I was talking about maybe moving up a little bit higher, and we are still in a, you know, we are still in an uptrend on a more macro level. It's just that we are still within this consolidation, and so, um, we can still take smaller short positions while we are within this, right? If it makes sense. And so this to me makes sense. So that's what I'm going to do at the moment. And if this does play out and we do come back down, um, here, that will be a place that will be really key, like I said, if we come down to this level again, because that's going to be very decisive, right? Whether we continue lower or if we really do respect this level again. But again, you have to look at this, right? We did come up and violate and break this resistance once, immediately rejected it, right? Pretty much. And we have a series of lower highs here. So if we reject this, and move back to this low, that means we could not match this lower high, which couldn't match this lower high, right? Which was below this. So um, we're really, and again, I know it's messy because we're just within this consolidation, this sideways consolidation. Eventually, we are going to break out of it, right? But one way or another. But anyway, that's just a trade that I have taken. And yeah, I hope that makes sense. A lot of times, this is just a really general pattern. That I like, where you have, a major support and you have a series of um, higher lows followed by an eventual large push up that's like pretty much immediately corrected, and then now we're retesting this resistance. So anyway, it's just a really simple, somewhat straightforward trade, at least in my opinion. But anyway, hopefully that plays out. Pretty decent risk to reward ratio, and yeah, we're gonna see how that plays out. And pound yen. We were talking about in our video yesterday, uh, about we're really just looking for a, you know, pull back into a zone and a move up, right? We got a very sharp one. Obviously, it wasn't that pretty. It wasn't something that was that easily tradable, obviously. But again, the same principle applies, right? We are in an uptrend. We're expecting pullbacks into support levels in order for us to go long, right? And it'd be vice versa if we were in a downtrend. So anyway, all right, quick little update already. I have added a second entry here. I just like how this is kind of shaping out here. We went down a little bit and sort of came back up here. Let me go to a 30-minute chart. Yeah, and did break above, but we are just pushing back up into this zone. And so I still think we're going to get that sort of rollover that I'm looking for. And so decent place to add a second long short position here. And we have a little bit of a better risk to reward on this second entry. And yeah, just same target, same everything. We're just you can trade the same move and get in a bunch of different chances. When you're looking for larger swings like this that aren't so short term, you don't just have one chance to get in. You have usually around depending on the volume and how quickly a zone is rejected, you can have sometimes like a 2 hour or more window in order to get into the trade and try to get your better entry, right? So anyway, that's what we're doing on gold, and we're just gonna wait for this. All right, guys. So here we are. You can see our trade has gone pretty well here. We are pushing down close to our exit level, but I have moved my stops to break even. But what I'm going to do at this point is pretty much sell almost all of the position, get out of about 90%, and the rest will be open from the first entry with with stops at break even, right? So there's no risk on the table. It's just that we had a really really big high volume candle to the downside, and I don't want us to get a massive pullback. And so I'm just going to take advantage of that. Obviously, yeah, we could have waited a little bit longer, right? Our target is down into just into the beginning of this zone is really what we're looking for, not specifically this area here. But we're just all we were looking for is just a move, right, from our entry close down, pushing into the zone. So anyway, that's what we have done. The majority is closed. We have a little bit open with stops at break even. It's just something that I like to do, just to, I know you don't want to get too impatient and get out of most of your trades too early. I've been doing that a little bit recently, but the whole point is I like to take profit when I have it, right? That's just something that you learn. You learn that by getting burned, and I have definitely done that in the past. And so when I have a trade like this, even if it's not exactly to my take profit level, but again, like this is a high volume candle, um, I just be a little bit more happy to get out of the majority of it, leave a little bit open with stops at break even, like I said, but um, basically, about 90% of the move that I wanted has happened, and so I'm fine not waiting on that last 10% to be too precise, right? So hope that makes sense. That's just kind of what I'm doing at the moment. So anyway, we'll go over this a little bit more once we're completely out of this. Maybe if we reach the target or whatever happens. But anyway, just a really simple trade. So I hope that makes sense for you. All right, guys. So here we are. After our trade, so you can see we had a huge move to the upside, but obviously we got out here towards the bottom of this large high volume candle here. And so, you know, one thing, and I'm sort of repeating myself here, but one thing that I really focus on a lot more is, a lot of times we think that when we enter a trade, it's binary, right? Either we have a winning trade or a losing trade, and that's essentially true. But a lot of times you can be correct about the move, right? You can be correct about the direction, but you can miss a little bit of the details, right? So for instance, our take profit was down here, right? We were looking to go for this move to go down a little bit further, right? So where we entered on both of our entries, we were correct, right? We were correct with the move, right? We were 100% correct. We got exactly what we were looking for. Um, the only issue was that our take profit was our target was a little bit too far. We were just pushing the limit a little bit too much. And so um, basically part of what I'm trying to say is you can be correct, right? You can get everything right, but still not get that perfect trade. Just because the trade is going in your direction, just because you have a trade playing out really nicely and you're getting closer to your take profit doesn't mean it's going to hit it. And so that's why a lot of times it may seem a little weird, but um, a lot of times I'm pretty quick to move my stops to break even, move them into profit, trail them, that sort of thing. And I also will get out of trades before my target is reached sometimes. And so here, right, I remember saying that we had a high volume candle here, and so we could expect some sort of more macro level pullback. And again, um, you know, yeah, we were targeting this level, but of course you know, I guess from this point on, we can talk about that in a minute, but from this point on, this low was not broken. And so it looks like we're gonna, maybe come back and retest this and work our way up to the top of this massive range here. So, um, my point is, I hope that makes sense. Um, you can be correct about a move and still not have it go your way. And so that's why, obviously, like common sense, right? When you're getting in, right? We're getting in here because we have a move to the downside, retest of a strong level, so we're expecting it to roll over. That's what we get. Okay, so we were right about that assumption. That hypothesis was correct, but were a little bit off on our target. And so that's why as you work your way down, you have to sort of be you don't want to be stubborn, right? You don't want to be 10 pips away from your take profit and you're like, nope, I'm waiting for it to get hit. um, Obviously it kind of depends on each trade is different, but um, you have to be able to, like what I did here is I didn't close the whole thing. I closed the majority of it. I left a little bit open that obviously was stopped out, but not for a loss, so that's good. um, and a little bit of profit. And so you have to sort of be, um, you have to be able to adjust your ideas relative to each position. And so that's kind of what I did here. Now, Obviously, so we can delete this now. Obviously, I did not get in a long position here. That would have been a nice idea, but I, to be honest, was not expecting this. I was really sort of just expecting maybe a pullback like up to here and sort of just sideways price action, but it's all good. So going forward, um, what we can look for is obviously this level that was our entry for our short position is not as important anymore because here on the 4 hour, this support is a much stronger, more important level. So what we're going to look for now is some sort of pullback and clear indication that we are going to respect this level as support, right? Not break back down, but respect this level as support. If we get that, obviously we want to keep an eye on this level, but we'll just delete that for visual sake, right? We can maybe readjust this level now. Yeah, we'll go up to there and then to here. That looks a little bit better. So what we're going to look for is something like, where's the path? Yeah, something like this, right? A nice little pullback, respect the level of support, and then a move up to here. That is my hypothesis now going forward. That's my plan, right? If we come back down straight below here, close below, retest it as resistance, it's going to look a little bit different, right? But anyway, this is what I'm looking at the moment. So, um, yeah, if we go to, let's go to a daily. Yeah, I mean, look at this, right? We get this massive push down towards this resistance or support here. We don't break below this, right? So think about this. We have slightly higher lows being established here, right, relative to this daily zone here. So this candle, obviously, bullish candle, obviously engulfed the previous candle. Maybe what would have to happen is we have to wait till later today for the new daily candle to open, wick to the downside, and then when you go down to like a 30-minute or an hourly chart, that wick to the downside, once it starts to move up, that will be our support of our price action that is respecting this level as support. I hope that makes sense. So then the new daily candle will make its bottom wick and then move up bullish, right? That's kind of what I'm planning for. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean, right, that's what we're expecting 100% to happen. Anything can really happen, but that's my hypothesis, and we're going to have to adjust it as we go. So anyway, that's just what I'm looking at the moment. I hope that makes sense about this position. That's why a lot of times, some people say that that's weak and that's kind of flighty, but you do what works for you. A lot of times, if I'm at 80, 85, 90% to my target, I'll close a good bit of my position, leave the rest open with stops at break even. Because really, guys, what we're looking for is we're just looking for the move, right? We're not looking for a specific target to be met. At least that's not how I do things. So anyway, I hope that video was helpful. I hope that trade made sense. Both of the entries were pretty decent. Then we got the little bit stopped out at break or a little bit in profit. So um, yeah, it's all good. So we're just gonna go from there. Um, yeah, but I could really see this level being held as a stronger support, and then I think this resistance would be not a huge deal as long as we can hold this more key level as support. So anyway, hope that's helpful, and yeah, we'll see how this plays out later today.